Today's reading is in Exodus chapter 26. And as we read this chapter, it gets kind of laborious, difficult to read through. It's the construction of the tabernacle, which of course I'm sure is all of your all's favorite part of Exodus. But a couple of things that I think are important to point out. One is just the construction of the tabernacle itself. Of course, it's very detailed, a lot of curtain explanation and rods and rings, but the tabernacle was a tent, a very elaborate tent that was a precursor to the temple. This was going to be their mobile temple, taken all throughout the desert over the next 40 years. Of course, at this point, they don't realize they'll be wandering for 40 years, but God does. And so he gives them a place, a temple that can be set up as they're wandering and then torn down and carried with them. So that's the first thing that's important for us to realize is this is the house of God here in mobile form, and it's called the tabernacle. And you'll read about it all throughout the Old Testament until the temple is finally built by Solomon. The second thing that caught me was inside the tabernacle, it is a very holy place. It is the dwelling place of God. But then in verse 33, we get this distinction, this curtain that is placed between the holy place and the most holy place. There's a definite line by which the nation of Israel cannot pass and be in God's presence. This is going to continue when the temple is built in the form of the Holy of Holies, the place that only a priest can enter and only after he's been ritualistically cleaned. And it reminds me of how otherworldly God is, how different and set apart he is from us. And yet in Christ, as we know in the New Testament, that Holy of Holies is not forbidden from us any longer. We are able to enter into God's very presence through the cross. So this temporary separation is just that, temporary, until Christ comes and is able to reunite us in a right relationship with the Father.